Hello and welcome to another episode of Dream to a Decade, where today we celebrate the 40th anniversary of the 80s classic Gremlins. I'm your host. What's my name? I'm your amazing, spectacular host with the most, Detective Artemis. And with me is...
I still think it's too fucking long. I'm Journey.
Wow, that was very short. Okay, cool. Welcome again, Journey.
Cause it really doesn't take that much. It's the journey. That's all you need, man. You don't need extra titles, and it's just a journey, man.
You know, to be honest, I just like hearing myself talk. That's all it is.
Don't you do enough of that?
I don't. I talk and I'll look into the mirror, and then that's just my morning routine.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've always said I really enjoy your voice. It's great for radio.
Now I'm no Morgan Freeman or John Hamm, but I do think I'm in the top 2 billion, so I'm okay with that.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, I like to go low.
You gotta be at least in the top 2 million.
So the classic 80s horror comedy Gremlins, probably one of the best Christmas movies out there.
Yes.
What are your early memories of the film, sir?
Okay, so this has gotta be my number one Christmas movie, period. Like, it's a tradition for me. Like, every year I have to watch Gremlins. It's my crap, what's his name again? The black guy on our channel?
Kaleem?
No, K. He goes by K. There you go. It's okay. Yeah, no, K's is A Christmas Story. Every year tradition, he watches A Christmas Story every Christmas. Mine's is Gremlin. Like, I gotta watch it twice, like, during Christmas, like, every single time.
For me, it's definitely those two movies. Also, Home Alone and Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands is Christmas?
Yeah.
Or is it just a snowy setting?
It's Christmas.
Okay, I haven't watched it in a while.
I'm pretty sure. I'm like 98% sure it's Christmas.
Yeah, no, but yeah, no, I grew up with this movie, loved it as a kid, got really attached to it. Biggest crush on Phoebe Cates for the longest time. Huge crush on her.
Was it Drop Dead Fred? Fast Time?
Yeah, and I gotta say, I think she's the reason why I'm so into like brunette girls, like just fucking gorgeous. And also it's like, and always fucking Gizmo's the cutest little bone of joy, even though ugliest little face, still the cutest little thing. I've always wanted the stuffed little doll that you stick in car windows. I've always wanted one, but I don't know. I don't think you can buy those anymore.
I'm sure you can.
For like what, $200?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know. Go to Temu or Temu, whatever it's called.
Temu, something made out of like China.
You can find a Gosmo.
Taiwan.
Well, actually, the Mogwai, aren't they from China? Because the dude finds it at a Chinese store
in downtown New York, right? Like downtown some shit.
I'm not too caught up on my Gremlins lore.
Yeah, it's gotta be Chinese.
Well, anywho, for me, some of my earliest memories, I actually watched part 2 a lot more than part 1. Not because I like part 2 over part 1, which I kind of do, but it was just, they just played that one more on HBO at the time when I was a kid than part 1. Just like with Temple of Doom, I've seen Temple of Doom way more than Raiders. But I mean,
I wonder why. Well, especially for Temple of Doom, because okay, Kalima. That is definitely one of like the best ones. But I wonder why they play the sequel more. Is it just like a studio thing who had the rights? Because I know Warner Brothers was extremely heavy, like in the sequel of Gremlins. You see a lot of WB references in that, even the intro.
Right, exactly. I'm not sure, but that was just it for me. So when I saw part 1 a little later on in life, I loved it. I love horror comedies, and the fact that it takes place on Christmas and it was a monster movie, it was great.
Wait, you watched the sequel before the first one?
Yeah, I saw. I've seen part 2 before part 1 as a kid. I can't fucking
do that.
Just because like they would play it on TV more, then I eventually came across part 1 later on, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool too. A little bit on the horror side. Yeah, but I loved it.
That's funny. Like I since I've always had to watch things chronologically. Like I refuse to, even video games, I refuse to play a sequel without playing the one before that. And I think the only ever occasion where I've seen a sequel before the first one was T2. Yeah, I watched T2 before the first Terminator, and it's but that's probably the only time. After that, I always had to watch the first one before the other one.
I get that. I think for me though, as a kid, I didn't care. It was just on
Whatever's on TV.
whatever was on. And part two is just much more funny and stupid. So as a kid,
It
I
is.
liked funny and stupid.
Yeah, no,
So-
yeah, absolutely. That's definitely what it was.
But part one, man, part one.
Part one was just, yeah, like I said, iconic. Phoebe Cates was, yeah.
What
perfect.
are your some of your favorite parts in the movie?
Oh, fuck it out. Okay, so yeah, definitely top of the scene. It would have to be the bar scene, like when pure chaos already. Like
Yeah,
all the gremlins are already transformed. They completely raid Phoebe Cates' bar, and like they're in just that whole scene in general was just hilarious. You had all the gremlins getting drunk and playing cards. When Cheats gets shot by the mobster one.
right. The flasher one.
The
there, right?
flasher one. I was just the flasher's like flashing Phoebe Cates, and it's like it was the chaos. Oh, and then there was the flash dancer, the one that
Right.
the cameo.
Maniac.
Yeah, and it was so perfect, hilarious. That was probably my favorite scene because I kept dying with it.
It's a great scene for sure. I think for me though, obviously, when Mrs. Deagle bites the dust and flies out of her chair through the window,
Oh my god, I forgot.
I'm like,
about that.
finally, this bitch gets her comeuppance.
The book is just the chair just like goes. I don't know the air time she
Yeah,
got.
It was so fucking cartoony, but she like launches out of there like she's fucking Wile E. Coyote, and boom,
Yeah.
head first into the snow.
And to add to the hilarity, you have the cops just like roaming around. And they're
Yeah.
like, what was that? I think that was just Mr. Deagle.
Those are the worst cops ever. They didn't even stop to help Santa when he was being attacked.
He like started banging on their window, right? And it's like, oh my god, what is that?
Just your typical cop here.
The small town cops, they just don't care.
And then they crashed into an insurance store for some sweet irony.
Sweet irony. Yeah. And then yeah, those were the highlights. Also, another like second favorite scene was when the main character's like mom starts, like killing all those gremlins in her kitchen.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was good.
The
That
tree's attacking.
when she puts one of them in the microwave, and it was definitely gooey fun. Like one of them made it into a blender, the other one in a microwave. Definitely that one was a really gooey fun scene.
It was just a really fun movie altogether, but there was one thing I didn't like, and I still don't like it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't like because they made fun of it in part 2.
Oh, I think it's the same one that I was gonna say.
Are you gonna say it? Is her whole fucking monologue about why
Yes!
she hates Santa Claus?
Yes, that was mine.
It came
too.
out of nowhere. What the fuck?
It's like what it's like this is a whole fun like corny movie, and then all of a sudden the downbeat and it gets just
The
so
drama.
serious. My dad died in a fire.
Jesus Christ, lady.
He was like, wow, this is
I'm gonna bring the mood down.
was this necessary? Like,
And it's funny because in part 2, which is pretty much a parody of the first movie,
makes fun of itself. Yeah,
she's like, "Oh, this Abraham Lincoln thing," and they stop her mid story, and you can,
okay, come on, sweetheart.
yeah, and you can even see fucking what's his name, Zach,
Yeah,
like him kind of like laughing at her frame too. So it was very like making fun of the first one.
yeah, and that's why I love the sequel. I love the sequel too because well, probably we're gonna talk more about the sequel later. But
Yeah, a little
it
bit
was
more.
it was just so good about just making fun of itself.
Right.
and it was great.
Another thing I didn't like too, or it's not that I didn't like, but it was weird. Like the whole fucking 5th grade bio teacher just happened to like have all these weird stuff and all these weird experiments that he did on the Gremlins, and he somehow had some lethal injection in him because when he gets killed, he has that shot in his leg or his butt.
Oh
So
no,
this teacher is just carrying lethal injection or what?
no, well, no. The syringe was there to draw blood from the gremlins, and that's what it was. And so when I don't even know how he died. I assume that he's just the gremlin stuck the syringe in his ass as a payback for sticking him before. But I don't
Right.
think there was anything in it.
I think there was something in there.
But when he first introduced it, the science teacher just used it to draw blood, not inject anything in the gremlin. It was to draw blood. So I don't think there was anything in it when the gremlin stabbed him with it.
Okay, all right. Well, I'll just take your word for it. But it was still kind of weird. He was a very creepy teacher.
He was a really creepy teacher. It's like, who takes a bite of a sandwich and just leaves it sitting there overnight?
You know, when I take a bite of my sandwich, or like
I
I want
eat
to,
that
like
shit.
I want to, I'm like, I'll leave it for later, and that later is like 2 minutes from then.
Right.
So it never survives.
Also, I make pretty damn good sandwiches.
I've seen them.
I go all out. I go all out with my shit. Like I'll put like ranch and like a little bit of pepper.
I love your style. It's that whole Scooby Doo sandwich. Where it's just stacked.
That's what I do. Yeah, Scooby Doo that shit. I don't even smoke.
So we mentioned part 2 earlier, and now part 1 is more. It's a good balance of horror and comedy, whereas part 2 it's just straight up comedy, and it's so chaotic. I love the crap out of it.
Yeah, no, like it starts off with a Looney Tunes entrance, right?
Right.
With Bunny with a crap. What's his name?
Bugs Bunny.
I've been drinking. Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, and like it's definitely very Warner Bros. Which was Warner Bros. Wasn't part of the first part, right? Like the first movie, right? Warner Brothers bought the rights and went into the sequel, because then we had the Warner Brothers entrance. During the movie,
it was definitely more prominent in the second movie.
Especially there was I remember one scene. It was great. I fucking loved it when one of the Gremlins turns into a bat and then breaks out the window, and you see the Batman logo,
right?
And I was like, straight up Warner Brothers. You see fucking Hulk Hogan. that was a weird cameo. It's like
that was at the peak of Hulkamania,
right? Ripped off his shirt and everything. I was like, hey, this is peak Hulkamania. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we know Hulk Hogan is a terrible person and a racist.
Is he?
Yeah.
I remember running into him once.
Oh, okay.
Didn't talk to him because it was like he was off. So it was during Comic-Con. I think it was his son's birthday, so they were in the lobby of the same hotel we were staying at, and they were like singing his son happy birthday, and we were like, holy fuck, that's Hulk Hogan. We're not gonna go say hi, right? No, yeah, no, he'll like choke slam us right now if we interrupt his son's birthday song. Yeah, no, let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah, let's go.
What you gonna do, brother?
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan. But yes, part 1 was also from Warner Bros. As well, but this time
Really?
it was much more of like I said, like more prominence in them, and there was a lot more references. There's also a lot of cool cameos. You got Sir Christopher Lee right there, that main scientist in the beginning, and then he's with those 2 twins who you see in Terminator 2.
Yeah, the main head scientist guy. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Okay. Yeah, and then there's the director Joe Dante cameo in there. He's playing a director in there. Yeah, it's just a lot of great cameos in that movie.
Yeah, you're right. But they were so small and so quick, like
blinking you'll miss.
Yeah, you blink and you'll miss it. But definitely like they cared less about it, and they just had more fun with it. There was like I said, it also made so much fun of itself. Like how there was that section where they were making fun of the rules.
Right. So what if there's like he's eating at 11:59, but there's meat still stuck in his tooth? Is he still like so? Yeah.
Or if he crosses the time zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're asking the hard questions there.
The hard questions. The in all the absolute chaos, the female gremlin that rapes the one dude at the end of the movie. Like,
now hold on, now he didn't say no.
You're right.
It was just one of those like, fuck it.
That gremlin was heavily stacked.
So back to Gremlins 1. Oh man, I do love horror comedies, and I think this one does bring a nice blend to it. It's it's creepy, it's funny, it's kind of gross at the same time, and the whole rules about it is something that we still make fun of and or reference in like regular pop culture today.
Yeah, water, food after midnight,
and then you got Howie Mandel as the voice of as Gizmo, which pretty much like gave him his start. He was after that he got Bobby's World.
I didn't even know there was actually a prominent actor that was Gizmo's voice.
Yeah, Howie Mandel.
I didn't even know that. I just thought it was just some random ass
bald bastard himself.
Holy shit. Well, also we're talking about like the sequels and how it's like held up. It's like, I haven't watched the animated series that came out, and I forgot what it was called. I haven't seen that yet, but I think that's supposed to be a sequel. And I think there's still supposed to be a Gremlins 3 in the talks, or it's because it's still on IMDb. It still pops up every once in a while. Like I think it's just
probably still in development hell.
Yeah, but I mean, like, do you feel like it would still like it still has to be goofy, right? Like they kind of set up this tone and this theme to what the Gremlins are. They wouldn't change that if they actually came out with a part 3, right? It would still have to be funny.
I think that this probably like leads into the has it aged well kind of thing. So I absolutely think a Gremlins 3 can work because why the hell not? People know it, they love it. There's a fan base for it, and there's a way you can modernize it, or even keep it like, or have it in like a different time, maybe like in the 90s, or I don't want to say a prequel, but maybe a prequel. That, you know, there's a lot of room to tell more stories because people love Gremlins, and if the story is good, then you know people will like it.
Yeah, like for nostalgia's sake, I think it would do great, but I don't think they're like I can't think of any movie that's come out in like the last 5 years that's like campy and corny like Gremlins was.
I mean,
like anything that kind of was around the same lines, whatever, like Bill and Ted and stuff like that, that didn't feel.
yeah, a lot of these like legacy sequels, like, you know, Dumb and Dumber 2 or Anchorman or Zoolander 2, you know, a lot of them are hit or miss, but I mean, would you consider Ghostbusters Afterlife a legacy sequel? I think that was pretty good.
That one was actually really good, but also that kind of, it felt modernized, but it didn't have that same campy corniness that the original 2 had. That corniness, I guess corny movies aren't a thing anymore because I can't think of any corny movies anymore. Like the new generation doesn't do corny, like they do wheat.
Yeah,
like
I believe
fuck corn, we're gonna do wheat. I don't know if that makes sense.
We don't make sense. We make dollars. But I think I definitely think you can do a Gremlins. I mean, we got Beetlejuice 2 coming out, and that looks pretty promising. But you know,
I haven't seen the trailer.
We will see. Yeah, there's a trailer out or a little teaser. But
you saw it?
Yeah.
Then what does that give us? I haven't seen it.
It pretty much from like it just sort of gives you the nostalgic feel for it, and then it does kind of make you interested in like where they're gonna continue with the story next. So I think the trailer did its job, and I think a shit ton of people are gonna watch it just because it's Beetlejuice and it's, you know, like 35 years old since like the first one, and then it's also the second like Michael Keaton legacy sequel that he's done in a while, because then he was in The Flash as Batman again.
I fucking love that so much. He made the movie. By the way.
100%. So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, no. If there's a part 3 Gremlins, I feel like if they as long as they don't change it too much and like try to make it something that it's not.
You mentioned corny, and we still have Fast and Furious movies. Those are the corn of the corn.
Yeah, but that's like processed, shitted out corn.
I don't even like corn, to be honest with you. I mean, they had one good album for me, but then that was it.
Oh,
that's Disturbed.
Oh, fuck.
You need to get down with the sickness, man.
Fuck. That was it going out. Fuck.
Well, anywho, so do you think this movie has aged well in your eyes or ears?
I think so. Like I said, like I don't feel like the campiness and the corniness of like movies that's not a thing anymore. But for nostalgia's sake, like those classic movies are still great. Like it's like the kids and the generations nowadays, they can watch it and be like, this is dumb, but like at least they won't hate it. There'll be something that's kind of fun with it. Like have you shown this movie to your son yet?
Yeah.
How did he react to it?
He likes it.
That's how I want. That's how I feel like we can definitely gauge if a movie's aged well. How the younger generation, and he loves it, right?
He liked it. He was laughing.
Yeah.
He asked a lot of questions. He was like, "Oh, Gizmo, he's getting bullied."
Yeah. No. Then that just tells me right there that it's definitely aged really well. If the new generation can enjoy it, and and like I said, I still watch it every year.
It's definitely a Christmas tradition. So a bit of trivia here. This was directed by Joe Dante and written by Chris Columbus. No, not the Spanish conqueror / explorer who fakely discovered America.
That's Christopher.
But the director of Home Alone, as we mentioned, Christmas movies earlier, and also the director of the first 2 Harry Potter movies. So he was the one really responsible for sort of setting the tone for, you know, Harry Potter and the overall look and the whole whimsical feel to it. So good job, Chris Columbus.
That's interesting because like when you think about like, you know, magical like Christmas movies, Harry Potter 1, And for me, it gives and Gremlins, it's like he's really good at doing the little whole Christmassy vibe thing. Then, right? Then that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Burrs.
Yeah. And but also Spielberg was involved in this. He was one of the executive producers.
Of course he was. Spielberg is responsible for almost every movie in the 80s and our childhood.
Seriously, like you'll be surprised. You'll be like, oh, his name's attached to this. It's a good fucking movie.
It's even movies that like most people wouldn't even think of, like Poltergeist. He was definitely one of the main heads. He was one of the producers there. He was also like clashing with director Tobe Hooper, who directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it's cool to see Spielberg involved with horror. You love it. You got his movie Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, and then
obviously Jaws.
Yeah, and then a lot of this. I mean, back in the especially 80s and 90s, a lot of this stuff was shot in the Universal Studios, right? Like the
yeah.
Yeah,
actually, right there too, where they're walking in the beginning, where Mrs. Deagle is walking and she's like scaring all the people there. That's right there where they filmed fucking Back to the Future.
No, oh shit, it's the same lot.
That same lot area.
Same lot area. Oh
yeah.
Shit, yeah. And you'll be surprised with a little bit of snow and darkness will change a whole entire scene.
Yeah, you can thank your like set designers and folks like that, production workers, to like really take something familiar and then change it up, and then you don't notice it. And like, oh shit, they were there too.
Yeah, it's and also it's the 80s. Everything looked the same in the 80s.
Hey now.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's interesting. That's, and especially popping into some of this trivia and stuff that like we pulled up. Well, so you had two terms like in this movie. You had the Mogwais, which are the cute little furry things, and you had the Gremlins, the ugly little monstrous things.
Right.
So when it says here in Cantonese, Mogwai means devil and demon. It's like, why, or gremlin? But I mean, like Mogwai, you would think it'd be the cute version, right? It wouldn't mean devil, since Mogwai is a cute version.
How can something so cute be associated with the devil?
Thank you.
You're talking to him.
Thank you. That cute little furry thing. I just want to dog him and touch him, like just fur.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff there. Also, the director Joe Dante is famous for movies like Inner Space. You ever see Inner Space?
No, that sounds familiar.
It's with Dennis Quaid, and then like he's in this little ship, and then it gets injected into this dude's body. So like you see his body, and he's like in this little ship, and you kind of
that's a magic school bus.
It was Inner Space.
That's a magic school bus.
All right, Miss Frizzle.
That's a magic school bus.
Well, I love that movie. He's also done The Howling and Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers are dope.
Now, Small Soldiers is definitely something that can be brought back in this time with AI and technology, the way it's been like expanding so fast.
Because that was CGI too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And not just that, but the idea of technology taking over, or toys taking over, would absolutely fit in this time. Why do we not have a Small Soldiers too? I think that can definitely work right now.
I think so, but also I feel like that falls into the realm of like campy and corny, and we just don't do that anymore. Okay, imagine this movie. So imagine a sequel. Like, can you imagine this movie? Because Gremlins was all animatronics and like puppeteers, practical stuff. Imagine this thing if it was like CGI or animated. I think it would completely ruin it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I agree that it would kind of like ruin it. But if it were to be made today, I think there would be more of an emphasis on practical effects, like with Beetlejuice and stuff. They wanted to do more practical effects and, really give that classic look and feel to it, because that sort of it's what contributed to it. Yeah. So if you put CGI to it, then most of the nostalgia is gone.
Yeah, but I feel like most movies nowadays, they don't do practical stuff anymore. I mean, excluded Dark Crystal on Netflix. Obviously, that's Jim Henson. They do everything practical. That's their whole thing. And then I think the last thing that I saw big movie wise that did practical, which made me so fucking happy, was Star Wars. Fucking the last one, when they brought back Yoda, and they actually used a practical puppet for that, didn't they? Didn't CGI?
I believe so.
They
you talking about from like Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, didn't they use an actual practical on that? They didn't CGI Yoda for that? Didn't they use a practical for that?
I didn't even care about the movie so much to really verify that, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be a good thing to bring a practical stuff effect, especially for this, at least for this genre kind of stuff. Like it makes more sense to just be practical.
Yeah, and it'll have that look and feel to it. Because I mean, again, if you throw so much CGI, then you disconnect with the nostalgia for like the older folks. Because like, oh, it doesn't have that feel anymore.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about that? There not being any practicals in Ghostbusters.
There was practical.
Was there?
Not everything.
And like Afterlife?
I think it was a good mix of both. But yes, this movie was released the same day as Ghostbusters, so that's pretty cool. I guess we'll have to drop that Ghostbusters Drink to a Decade the same day, which is today, right now. Go listen to it.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on Gremlins 40th anniversary. Once again, I am Detective Artemis. Thank you for watching and listening. You can find us on probably somewhere on YouTube. And once, I'm sorry, I forgot my co-host's name.
Not like I have nothing better to do.
What's your name, man?
Hello, I'm Journey.
You mean goodbye? Cause
Goodbye, I'm Journey.
All right. Well, once again, we drink and we know things.
It's we watch things, bro.
No, it's
we watch things. We watch things.
But I said that on the last episode.
Not Lannister.
Well,
you see, if you had
I don't pay.
If you had me on this show a lot more often,
I don't pay
so
all
how
my
long
debts.
have you been doing this? Like, how long have you been saying the wrong thing? You should have had me here more often. I would have corrected you a long time ago. You've been fucking up our sign off for how long?
I think I realized why I don't invite you here more often. Well, anyways, we drink and we watch things. Until next time, friends, I'll see you.
I won't be here next time.
All right, security, get this guy out.